teacher said it's Monday morning, let's go play. It was only 8 a.m. and we all screamed hooray. But when it began to rain, that was really recess bliss. And a half an hour passed so fast the clock told us this. It wasn't 8 o'clock, it was 8:30. Big hand on the 6, we were really very dirty.
Big hand on the 6, and we knew that it meant 30.
Between the 8 and 9, we saw the little hand go. Recess was over and we screamed, oh no!
Oh no!
Well, our awesome teacher yelled, I'm as proud as a birdie that you learned the longer hand on the 6 makes a 30. We washed our muddy hands in our shiny classroom sink. That made our teacher happy and she gave us all a wink. Let's have another recess that starts at 9 o'clock. Another half hour, we were really all in shock. Another recess? Sweet! It wasn't 9 o'clock, it was 9:30. Big hand on the 6, we were really very dirty.
Big hand on the 6, and we knew that it meant 30.
Between the 9 and 10, we saw the little hand go. Recess was over and we screamed, oh no!
Oh no!
Good morning, class. Now, this week we're going to look at half past the hour. And yesterday we started to look on that. Now, I know I gave you this activity to do yesterday, and we're going to go through some of what we did. Here it says that the short hand points to the hour. And we all know the short hand points to the hour, and the long hand shows how much of the hour has passed. Now, you know the short hand is the hour hand, and the long hand is the minute hand. Now, this time the long hand isn't pointing at 12, it's pointing at 6. And whenever the long hand points at 6, it means that it's half past the hour. Now, we learned in the first week that 60 minutes makes up this whole clock. And if we divide that 60 minutes in half, we get half an hour, we get 30 minutes. Now, definitely so, we're going to expect that the long hand, or one of the hands, in this case the long hand, will point at 6 because it's in between this. It basically cuts the circle in half. Now, let's look at this right here. Whenever it's half past the time, the long hand always point at 6. And whatever time that it's showing, the short hand will point between. You see how this is pointing between the number, and you read it from here, starting from here. So now this is saying that it's half past 3 because it's after 3. But how much after 3 it is? It is half past 3. And here they have it there. Now let's look at this clock. The long hand is pointing at 6, but the short hand right here is pointing between 10 and 11. What time is it? It is 10. It is 30 minutes, half past 10. Why is it 30 minutes or half past 10? Because the hour hand has passed 10 already and is heading towards 11. The minute hand shows us how many past 10 it is. In this case, whenever the minute hand, which is the longer hand, is pointing to 6, it is always half past the hour. Now, this is my clock, and I want you to get your clock ready. Remember, I asked you to make a clock for this week's class because we're going to need our clock so we can use it to tell time. Now, let's look what time it is. Remember that this green line right here is my minute hand on the clock, and this orange line right here is the hour hand. Can anyone guess what time this is showing? Yes, you are correct. Let's look at it. So the minute hand is pointing at 6, which I've told you that the longer hand always points at 6 when it's half past the time. And the hour hand is pointing between 7 and 8. It is not yet past 8. It is not yet 8, but it is indeed past 7. How much past 7 is it? It is half past 7. let's look at some more examples. Now, let's take out your clock and do this one together. My minute hand is pointing at 6 and my hour hand is pointing between 12 and 1. It is not yet 1 as yet, but indeed it is sometime after 12. What time is it after 12? It is 12:30. Why is it 12:30? It's because the minute hand, which is the longer hand, is pointing at 6. And whenever it's half past the hour, the minute hand always points at 6. And the hour hand is pointing between the numbers. Now you are going to tell some time for me. I want you to use your clock and take a picture and send these time to me. I want you to show me 4:30, 10:30, and 11:30.